Welcome everyone to Grape Finance's weekly AMA. As always, we have LB with us. Welcome, LB.
Hey everyone, good to be here. Thanks for listening in.
Yeah, definitely. I second that. And of course, as always, I'm hosting. We have a few people who are listening in live. Meteorbyte, Shrimp, West Wing. Well, welcome. Oh, more people. Uh, hey, I'm gonna unmute this one because I know this one. Hello there, Steve. How you doing? Or are you showering again? You never know with this guy. Well, I don't know. He's not responding. Maybe he's just listening in. It's all good. Anyway, a lot has happened this week, right? Like we started.
Mm.
There's a game brought out.
Mm-hmm.
From Liu. What's his name again? I forgot.
Leanne, you?
Lian Yu. Yeah. I haven't played it yet. Have you?
Yeah, I played a few little games of it. Just test it out. It's one of those classic 2D sort of Space Invader shooters, but Space Invader is a little bit different because you kind of just like move side to side. This is more like you're moving around the map, and
Right.
shooting the things that come at you. Basically, it's not very simple, but it can be kind of fun to get that high score,
Yeah,
and
they
you
can
can
be
win
very
some
addictive.
grape. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm looking forward to actually playing it. I haven't done so yet, but I should. I should. Um, and I just noticed, by the way, I said it so I said so in the Grape chat that we actually have icons now on Trader
Oh
Joe's.
yeah, yeah,
Did you
yeah,
see? Because I
yeah,
hadn't I hadn't noticed that. They suddenly added that or what?
yeah. Well, I just I think like I don't know, a week or two ago I resubmitted the because we meet the criteria. I don't know what's going on there. We've met it for a little while now, especially with the liquidity we have there now as well, and the volume. There's like no real like you look at the rankings of the I mean you look at the pools on the page there, and I think we're on like the second or third page, and everyone around us has their logo and everything. So it's like, what? Why the hell do we not have our logo on our
Yeah.
coins? So I resubmitted the thing, like the token list, a couple of weeks ago, and I guess they merged it, but they merged the other one as well back in January. They just never added it to the site, but this time they added it to the site, so it's nice.
That's good. Although they still warn you that anyone can create an ESC20 token, right?
Yeah,
They still do that.
yeah,
They go, be careful, be careful. All right. So that's good. Well, and in more, I wouldn't say it, we have our TVL is doing great. Grape is doing
mm,
great. Wine is fully recovered. We're
yeah,
actually doing pretty well here. And the floor price is going up.
yeah.
Um, we're sort of in a bull run, right in the middle of a bear market. It's like, yay.
It's pretty. It's pretty
We get-
crazy to see. Yeah.
it's absolutely awesome. Like I see all the prices going down, including AVAX and everything is going
Mm.
down, and everyone is talking about the bull market and being careful and everything, and then we're just all the way up there. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so that's beautiful. Let's start with questions. One game is already there. Dividius starts with it would be cool to get some education on derivatives from Steve, since Fionda mentioned during the last AMA how he learned this stuff from Steve. I guess it's not very relevant to GrapeFi at the moment, but why not level up on savviness in the Grape community? Yeah, I do agree. And Steve, you still have that invitation to unmute if you want to jump in. Um, I do agree. I learned this at Pendle really. Pendle Finance does something really
Mm.
interesting where they like they take a coin, and I learned it with Wonderland, which hadn't crashed then. Like it was
Yeah.
still like this great protocol with this great future. It was still December, right? So um, I learned this with Wonderland. And what they did was they took a future date, which was the 24th of February, if I recall well, and then they said like, okay, we're pulling this apart. We're taking red memo and we're pulling this apart and we're taking the underlying token and the derivative. And the way this worked was if you bought the underlying token, then at the 24th of February, you could just exchange those tokens, like they were called OT red memo. You could exchange those for full red memo again. So that would be sort of a profit. But what you effectively would do is set your gains or your yield, because then you would just know how much red memo you would get for it. And the other part would be the YT red memo, and that was the derivative part, and that was just um that was just the yield in between until the 24th of February. And if you held that part, you would get all of the yield that you were bound to get, because as a DAO system, they would just give you daily yield of the same token, or actually of time in that case. And but at the 24th of February, the value of that derivative would essentially go down to zero, because the OT had taken it all over. And that, for me, it was actually very simple if you explain it that way.
Mm.
But those are futures. That means you buy a future and you separately buy a derivative. And that, for me, is so simple as that, for me, made it understandable how futures and derivatives work. Like you buy into a price in the future, like you buy it now, but you only get it in the future. Um, so yeah, and of course, also other ways I would say to buy into futures, sort of when you're borrowing and when you're lending, that's also sort of buying a future price. Um, but once you get this simple version, it's easy to get there in your mind. Whereas if you just start looking at futures and derivatives and seeing all those prices going up and down really fast, um, that can just be overwhelming and just like playing, hey, this is not my game. But if you get it so simple, I feel like I have learned finance simply because DeFi has been replicating it. Like DeFi has been replicating traditional finance,
Mm.
and because I have been part of that growth, I've been in DeFi while DeFi was replicating it. I am very much able to understand everything, because I think that the centralized exchanges make it very obfuscated in a way. They make it difficult
Mm.
for me, at least.
Mm. And they usually don't even let you do most don't even let most people interact with financial products. You generally have to be a, maybe accredited investor, or some you have to get in, they put it behind the gate basically.
Yeah.
Most things.
Yeah, like you first have to have some sort of a diploma or whatever. You have to have proven yourself to be able to buy derivatives, which is weird. Like, why can't we just buy it? And that's the beauty of DeFi, I guess. Everything is owned by anyone. And if you go to gmx.io, you can just leverage. You don't have to prove yourself to leverage or whatever. You can just leverage, and it's fine. It's working. Um,
Yeah.
and short and everything. So yeah. All right. Enough shilling of different things. Let's move on. um, Yellcrab is saying the NFT reward pool calculator is great for guesstimating. Beautiful word there. Guesstimating payout value. Would it be possible to add in the amount of grape and wine along with the value? I think that could be useful for calculating returns based on not only current grape and wine value, but also allowing us to determine a range of value based on conservative estimates should the prices drop and optimistic values should prices increase, reach all-time high, etc. Oh wow, that's big.
I think Taz did this recently, so
That's why it's
I think
tagged
I
as
think we
well.
have that now. Yeah, we do have that with the actual tokens, and then there's a rough price because I mean, Grape is 1.4, 1.39. It's technically supposed to be $1. So
Yeah, so
it's
right now,
the price is going to vary.
yeah, so right now, if you enter any kind of estimate, it says at current prices, your so many tickets are worth approximately so much, like so many grapes and so many wines. So it does that,
Mm,
yeah,
hmm
does it pretty well. Okay, good. I didn't know that. Like, so,
It's a
sometimes
new
things
thing.
happen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
things
Yeah.
happen, and I'm not. Oh, I'm not keeping
There's a
up,
couple of
man.
things.
Too many things.
uh,
One more from Yellcrab. I think it was mentioned in an AMA a while back, but a dashboard would be cool. One page to view our
mhm.
vineyard winery node holdings. I'm guessing I'm not the only one that clicks through all the pages multiple times a day like a madman watching water boil.
Yeah. I'm actually working on this now. Yeah. So that's something that will come in, I don't know, hopefully soon. It's not like a main priority, but we are working on that exact thing. So it will come out.
Awesome. So, all coming. Um, Felix is asking, how do the POPs rewards work for the Swapsicle nodes? Is it a periodical airdrop to node holders? Do you need an NFT? And also, do the new nodes count as tickets for the existing airdrops?
Yeah, the POS rewards are going to be eventually they'll make a contract where you can claim your share. But initially they're going to be weekly airdrops uh, of um, of pops to node to LP to technically all LP holders, as in all Swapsicle LP holders are eligible for it. So there's a set amount of pops going out, weekly, and there's obviously a set amount of LP holders holding that Swapsicle LP token, and that amount of pops will be divided amongst those LP holders, based on how much you hold, in ratio to the total amount that exists. And one of the main holders will obviously be the node contract. Um, so in other words, the more nodes you have in that contract, the more share of those pops tokens you get weekly. But you don't need an NFT for this. For the pops airdrops, you don't need an NFT. You just need to hold Swapsicle LP tokens. That's all you need. Either you hold it or you buy a node with it, or you farm in their farm with the Swapsicle LP tokens. But you don't need an NFT. But these new nodes do count as tickets for the existing airdrops. So if you create LP nodes, you still it's added to the rest of your grape and wine nodes and your NFTs that you held for the NFT rewards. So
Yeah,
yeah.
cool. I've also been I've created some of these LP nodes. Also just to understand them.
Mm.
And it's still a little bit of a hassle, right? You still have
Hmm.
to first make the LP, and then you have to sort of gauge how much that is. And my gauge was sort of off, so I couldn't make
Hmm.
6. I had to make 5. Stuff like that is still going on. I do think LP it would be really helpful maybe if the contracts of the LP, but also the contract of the pops is on that page somewhere. So you can easily put it into your MetaMask, so you can easily have a
Oh
look.
yeah.
because I believe it's 20 of the LP nodes is one node. That I read that somewhere,
Yeah,
but I
yeah,
can't find it
20,
anymore. So
20
that,
tokens. Yeah, 20 LP tokens.
yeah, that I think that information sort of it helps if that's on there. Like you need 20 LP tokens. This is the contract so that you can see how many LP tokens you actually have in your MetaMask, and then also have the contract of the pops like on that page. Just free
Mm-hmm.
thinking. Could be a nice feature. Um, but it's yeah, it's a beautiful thing. And I think I'm really looking forward to this growing and us having a proper, I would say, a proper liquidity pool on Swapsicle and just
Mm.
build from there because they're a bit nicer to us than Trader Joe.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess it's got over 500K of liquidity there, which is pretty good. I mean, I don't know what I was expecting, but that's pretty decent for
Yeah.
liquidity on a new DEX there. And uh, I think I think we're top for liquidity on the DEX. So that's technically, I mean, it's good for us. It's good for them as well because it's technically giving them MIM liquidity. In other words, is the really the one of the main reasons they want a partner is because we're paired with MIM, and if we have liquidity on their exchange, well then people can trade MIM through the other tokens through our if even you don't have to even look at Grape or whatever, but there's actual MIM liquidity there on that exchange, and that's kind of the benefit to them, and the benefit to us is that they'll give our community the pops tokens as well, and we can kind of work with them a little bit closer than Trader Joe, for example, to I guess if we need something, they're always there for us. We have a direct line and all that sort of stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, that is beautiful. And maybe then it would also be good to, like we have on the homepage, like a buy grape and buy wine. Might be good to have a buy grape on Swapsicle somewhere. Maybe not on the homepage, but somewhere,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
because then it's an easy link. Oh well,
mm-hmm.
I'm just yeah, it's all still being built, right?
Yeah, yeah. I
Um,
mean, it's kind of when did it launch? Like 2 days ago or something.
yeah. So I'm just uh,
Yeah, we need to build a
guiding
Zap for it,
things.
but they'll
That
come
too.
soon.
Yeah, that would be beautiful. Is anyone working on that already?
No, not right now, no, but we um we will start that very soon.
Cool. Awesome. Um, Sashti says when game. Well, game. There's game. But maybe it also means like, oh, maybe they also mean like our personal game, the game that we or
Yeah, yeah,
wanna do. Um,
yeah. Well, that's coming soon. I guess I don't want to say too much. When we have kind of more, I guess I like surprising people, things with things as well, and I mean that's coming. It's still on schedule. But we're coming together with the lending system, and we kind of have to schedule them. I guess to like they launch together, but I don't want them to launch like directly together, if you know what I mean, because they're two different products really. We launched the nodes and the NFTs together, but they tie in directly with each other. Whereas these are two different products, but
yeah.
um, the game is obviously less intense to build than a lending system because there's a lot of back end like DevOps sort of stuff that you need to like actual maintenance, all the keepers and all that sort of stuff. This is more technically challenging, obviously, but I'll see how we go with the schedules. Still planning this quarter, still on schedule. But yeah, we'll let you guys know when it's coming up. It'll be, we don't give you too much warning, but there'll be some warning.
I'm reminded of one of those moon dogs saying like very soon.
Yeah,
Soon,
yeah,
man, soon. Game is coming, but everything's still on schedule. That's always good to hear. I
yeah.
kind of already knew, but it's always good to hear. Time and time again. Um, the Pops airdrop depends upon the amount of great mims, um, Swapsicle LPs we have. So what if I compound it to Oblivion? That means you get a bigger airdrop, Sam. It's Sam asking,
Yeah,
right? Yeah, that's
yeah,
what it
yeah.
does. The more nodes you have, you get a bigger airdrop. That's all. Um, and then operator says APY on Swapsicle decreases, so the airdrop decreases. No, no, because you compound it into more nodes, so you get a bigger airdrop. It doesn't decrease; it increases. Or
Well, it will also depend on because there's a fixed amount of pops, so going
oh,
out
that's why.
to the airdrop. So it's kind of it depends on
How you look at it.
your share, like your share of the total nodes, your share of the total LP tokens. If you have a large amount of the LP tokens out of the total, you obviously will get that share of the pops tokens airdrops. So it's kind of like the same as NFT reward pool. It's your share of that NFT reward pool. The more nodes you have, in other words, the more LP tokens you have in this regard, the more of that pool you get.
All right. Yeah, because I'm not used to operator being wrong on anything, except for his theories about you, though. Something about a penguin. But anyway,
Oh man.
then the Knights who say nee is asking a question about subscore nodes to those nouns count towards airdrop rewards of grape and wine. Yes, if you have an NFC. Or the only yeah, so that's answered. Yes, if
Mhm.
you have an NFT, they do count. Taz is asking, do we have a list of other protocols that have invested in Grape, and with amounts? Do we track their investment over time? Do we though?
it's kind of hard to because anyone can buy into grape or wine, like anyone can do it. So it's hard to like there's no way we can really track unless they have told us
Yeah,
specifically.
and when they've told us.
Uh, so so no, we don't have that. But obviously we know where we've invested. It's in the DAO wallet. You can check it out.
Yeah,
But yeah, they would need to tell us when they'd invest
I think the only
in
one that I
us.
know of that's actually a protocol that has invested in us is Walrus, right? Frozen Walrus.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I know El Taco uh, are in the LP as well.
Oh, right.
Um, and I'm sure there's others off the
Yeah.
top of my head. I can't think,
Yeah,
but
and I
yeah, I mean, they'd have to tell us. Like, we can't really track because
yeah.
every wallet's the same as well. As in, like every wallet, like it doesn't have a you know
This is a
from
protocol wallet.
yeah
No, it doesn't say that.
yeah.
Um, and I had this recent AMA with the Matic News guys, and they
Oh
also
yeah.
had this tiny investment that they are tracking for their community. Like
Oh.
they do that. Like with everyone they do an AMA with, they track their tiny investment. Is like it's not nothing big, but just to see how it does over time.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
that's pretty nice. Um,
Yeah.
anyway, we move on towards that's Fizzle, of course, answering stuff. The last one is Mungie or Mungie, not sure. Hey team, I think it was mentioned we would be moving our LPs for Vineyard away from TJ and over to Swapsicle, where we can earn pops too. Not sure if I was wrong there, but keen to hear the plan. Well, it kind of also cuts into this, right? That a lot of people are creating nodes for Swapsicle, and then they have some leftover, right?
Mhm,
There's
mhm.
some leftover LP, and well, maybe we can combine that with this question. Sashti, please go to the AMA live chat since you're typing. I don't know if you're
Yeah,
hearing me.
I guess it is. We the whole point of it is because we're not like some protocols. They have the protocol, like all the liquidity is owned by the protocol. Like in DAOs, in most node projects, most of the like pretty much all of the liquidity is owned by the actual protocol. So it's pretty easy to just like move the liquidity around from exchange to exchange or wherever you want. Whereas with the Tomb forks, kind of the whole point of it is, you do the genesis and that sort of launch. The liquidity is therefore owned by pretty much the community in its entirety, which is the point of the farms, the vineyard, and all that sort of stuff. So what I'm getting to is that we don't want to just like force people to move to a different exchange, move because it's quite a hassle, right? We
Yeah.
do have a reasonable amount of liquidity, so it would be a hassle for people to, all right, let's remove from Trader Joe and go to Swapsicle, add there. It's kind of, you'll lose people in the process as well, and you have a lot of people that kind of just forget about it as well. Like you saw with I guess 2 ohm, 2 ohm, 3 ohm. Uh, they wanted everybody to move to the redemption, for good reason, but it's eventually like or even after a few weeks, there was still like 50% of the liquidity on Spooky, and that's just because you're gonna have a lot of passive investors that are not looking at the protocol daily, and they're not up to date with those sort of changes, and as well. There's a lot of people that actually just like even totally just forget about it, to be honest, and a lot of people that actually can't be bothered to do it. So the point is that we don't want to force people to do something like that. We want to incentivize both things. So that's why we've got the node for the Swapsicle LP, and you can stake the LP in the Swapsicle farms as well. But
That's good to know
we
for
will,
people.
yeah, we'll keep the Trader Joe LP in the vineyard. They'll still be the main LP with the Oracle attached to that LP
Mhm.
because it does still have the most liquidity. Um, and we'll have the LP node like we do now for Swapsicle. It was kind of a little bit of an experiment to be honest to try the LP node, and I'm kind of surprised at like it's actually done pretty well.
It's
Um,
working good. It's
yeah,
doing
it's done.
good.
Even though as you mentioned, there's like it's a little bit of a pain to do because it's not just like a simple token. You have to actually add the liquidity, get the LP token, and then come over um, and add, have a node. So that's kind of like it's worked pretty well there. But we will, in saying that, we will add the Swapsicle LP to the vineyard as well. Um, Probably soon. Don't have an exact timeline, but at some point we will. Just to like even as an extra thing, like we have Grape nodes, and we still have the Grape single stake. It's kind of like it's an extra thing. If so if you have a leftover Grape or leftover Swapsicle LP, you can stake it in the vineyard to earn wine. And it depends. Like some people don't like nodes, So there's another option. You just stake it like a normal token, and you earn the wine. So we'll do that soon as well. But I guess the main answer to the question is that it's totally up to you. You can keep your um your LP in Trader Joe if you want, and keep it in the vineyard for now, in the main pair. Or you can come over to Swapsicle and create a node with that LP token. And eventually we'll also add that LP token to the vineyard. It'll probably be still like a less of an allocation than the main Trader Joe LP, just because that's where the majority of the liquidity is for now. But we will monitor and adapt and see how we go, and obviously listen to feedback. And just I guess really it's up to you. It's up to you whatever you want to do.
Do you
We
see
like
a
giving people
likely
options.
Do you see a likely future where the rewards towards the Swapsicle LP in the vineyard will eventually outpace the rewards towards the TJ LP?
If yeah, I guess if like a substantial amount more, like the goal probably would be, or like the barrier probably would be, there's more liquidity on Swapsicle than on Trader Joe in that pair. That would make sense to then swap it over.
Right. Then to incentivize it more. Right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Cool. Then we go to a question in the AMA live chat from Sashti. And he says, they say, I guess we're doing an ongoing upvote proposal on DBank regarding Node GVL, but it doesn't seem to have fixed or have been fixed. So is there any plan for this? I guess, yeah, DBank has this thing, right? We should also still have our Magic LP that's
Mm,
also not on DBank. I guess we should run a series of proposals.
yeah, I don't know. DBank changed their thing recently.
All right.
I guess maybe they got too many proposals, and they're just like, we'll prioritize this and that now.
Okay. Maybe
So
then go via Zappa. Just get everything in Zappa or something, or a different one.
there was another one as well. What's it
Saint is
called?
arguing, yeah, but we're over 10 mil now. I don't know if that makes a difference, man.
That was actually the requirement they put up now.
Oh,
Um,
okay. Oh well,
they're
then
prioritizing.
we're making it.
Yeah, we should. I know they change their requirements pretty often. I remember when we originally started, you could just make a proposal, and then they added the requirement that, you need like what it's um like the social rank. You need to have very high social rank, which has nothing to do with, or not much to do with, the amount of money you have in the wallet. It's more to do with like your activity on Ethereum. I
Oh
don't know.
wow, that's annoying.
Um,
That so it does have to do with how much money you have, right? How much money you can waste on the Ethereum chain.
yeah, I guess it's kind of true.
Anyway,
But yeah, there was another one, optical finance. That's what it is. Yeah, optical finance. Um, and I think LHB has spoken to them about getting Grape on there
all right.
already. So they're like a newer one, I think.
Cool. Oh, at least at some point we need to make sure that in any one of those tracking features, at least everything is visible, right? Everything grape. But it's a bit of a hassle because every time we innovate, we need to do it again.
I know, right? I know.
Every time there's a new contract, you're like, yeah,
There's a
proposal
new thing.
again.
I know.
But we try, we try. Um, okay. Um, I guess that's kind of it, which made it a short AMA, but that's
Mm,
fine. I mean, there's another one next week.
yeah.
So everyone, thank you for attending. thank you for asking questions. There's a thing that I would like to say. I was talking with Dave and Nick. Um, I think a lot of you know Dave, as in Space Games with Dave. Not a lot of you, not a lot of the listeners probably know Nick. He's though very vital behind the scenes. He's a very active person in the team, and they were thinking like maybe we should do an AMA like in American times again, like in the American time zone again. Um, and I've been discussing to just plan that with them. So very soon, I think we'll have an AMA that's actually in the America's time zone again.
Mhm.
Um, so look forward to that. It's probably next week. I think it's going to be
Yeah.
next week. So there's that. And then, of course, you'll get to know a few more of our team. Well, you probably already know Dave, but then you'll get to know Nick,
Mhm. Mhm.
which is cool. I think that's cool. Um,
Yeah. Yeah. Of course.
And so, anything else you'd like to add to close it off?
Well, I guess yeah. Just as always, thanks everyone for listening, and thanks everyone for the support. Like I've seen a lot of like a lot of new members come in this week.
Yes.
In the Discord, you can kind of see, with that leaf or whatever, where the name is they're like new to the server, which is really cool because it's kind of the market isn't that great overall. Yeah,
Yeah.
the global market, we should say, not just crypto. Um, and it's really cool to see that we have been holding very strong, and that's thanks to the community. Obviously, that's like the main reason.
Yeah.
And as well, we're seeing these new people come in, and we're seeing our community kind of, the people that have been here before, stepping up really well as expected, like
Yeah.
as we've already seen anyway. But it's just great to see reiterate that point that you know the community is so helpful to everybody that's new. There's no stupid questions. They come in, they ask like the same question over and over again that they could really get in the FAQ, but whatever. The people in the chat, they're happy to answer it, and it's great to see.
Definitely is. It definitely is. And what I'm also loving is that sometimes, right, I get a bit of a scare. Like recently there was an all at once 30K sell, like which is
Mm.
idiotic to do it, but that's just there to scare people, right? And then
Yeah.
so I immediately enter the chat as soon as I see it. I enter the chat like, is everything okay? Like, aren't people like panicking or crazy? And of course, there are some people panicking, but you see the majority of the people are just like, yeah, we've had this happen before, and we have. And the dip gets eaten up like really quickly,
Yeah.
and it took us about, I think it took us about 2 or 3 days to fully recover. Now we've fully recovered to the original price before that dump. So
Yeah.
it's all gonna be all right, but it's beautiful to enter the chat like, oh shit, I gotta enter the chat, and then just see that this ease and calmth is there, like, oh, it's gonna be all right, it's okay, we're just gonna eat up the dip. And I think that that is also it's a beautiful thing in our community, and I think that also means that people likely are actually having reserves, which I think is very wise. Or like
Mm.
always have some reserves to be able to
Mhm.
buy dips. Never be fully 100% invested. Always
Mhm.
have that 30 to 70% or whatever a reserve still, so that you can buy dips. So I think that's what it's for.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, thank you very much, everyone. Thank you, LB, for being here always. And yeah, that's it. See you next time. Bye
Thanks,
bye.
everyone.